That's how you know whether a friendship is a friendship. No friendship or alliance is tested until you have a disagreement and you air the disagreement and you see what you can work out. Compare that to Trump's embarrassing stunt last week. The centerpiece of Donald Trump's campaign is building a wall and making Mexico pay for it. That's the centerpiece of the campaign. It's even a chant at his rallies. Yet when Donald Trump decided to do his first visit with a foreign leader, and he finally had the chance to look Mexican President Peña Nieto in the eye, he said the subject never came up. In other words, on the central issue of his campaign, when he had the chance to bring it up, he choked. Turns out Donald Trump isn't such a great negotiator after all. And then he was too embarrassed to admit it. After the meeting, Trump said, well, they didn't discuss payment for the wall, but President Peña Nieto tweeted that, wait, the first thing I told Trump was that Mexico's not paying for any wall. So, just hours after his first international foray into foreign relations, Trump was in an online feud with one of our neighboring heads of state, our second largest trading partner. Man, if you're going to get into a feud with an ally, how about dealing with an adversary? I guess we should be glad it was only a Twitter war, because in a few months, Donald Trump could have control of the armed forces. Hillary's described Donald as somebody you can bait with a tweet. Well, guess what? It was reported that Trump saw what President Peña Nieto said, and that Trump then said, quote, I can't let that tweet go unanswered. And so he rewrote his immigration speech that he was giving later that night in Phoenix to be even harsher. Baited with a tweet. And that same evening, Donald Trump detailed his plans to deport 16 million people, 11 million who are here without documents, and 5 million people who are American citizens who he says he wants to strip their birthright citizenship because they were born to parents without documents. Every single one of them would be subject to deportation. In the opening paragraph of his speech, they'll all be gone. They'll all be gone. And he repeated the same litany of offensive stereotypes about immigrants, stereotypes that were perpetrated about Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants, Jewish immigrants from Central and Eastern Europe. You could have taken that speech and plugged in different nationalities and run it at pretty much any time in our history, and it would have been sadly familiar. Immigrants who he treats as a convenient scapegoat for problems that he doesn't know how to solve. Well, Hillary and I have a plan for a comprehensive immigration reform, a reform that respects our status as a nation of immigrants and also respects our status as a nation of law. It would include a challenging path to citizenship, helping employers figure out the bona fides of their employees, border security, protection for dreamers, a comprehensive immigration reform proposal that is supported by the American public and that has also already drawn bipartisan support for its major pillars in the Senate. In our first 100 days in office, we're not going to be about becoming a deportation nation. We're going to be sending a proposal to Congress that will keep families together and that will let America be what it's always been, a place where people from all over the world can bring their talents, ideas, and skills and energy, start new businesses, pursue their dreams, and make our country stronger. So, these are just a few of the differences in 3 parts of the world: the Middle East, Russia and Europe, Latin America. Differences between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, but we know that issues can arise anywhere, and that some of the issues we're talking about today may turn out not to be the ones we'll be talking about a year from now. And so maybe the most important thing to know, the most important thing to understand about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump is how they make decisions. Hillary is a strategic thinker who pulls together a top-notch team, challenges them with tough questions, and then makes a firm decision. I know this because I've seen her do it. My colleagues on the Senate Armed Services Committee, even Republicans, talk about what a great teammate Hillary was as a committee member, what a great colleague, doing the homework, mastering the details, getting into the weeds to get it right, working hard for military families, to increase survivor benefits, to make sure that TRICARE was available. That's Hillary Clinton. And I think we can agree that on the toughest issues, the quality of the team you put together is one of the most important guarantors of the decisions that you make. Donald Trump is different. He doesn't just think he knows more than our generals, he knows more than everyone. He's told the American public, quote, "I alone can fix it." And he's even had the hubris to say that his principal advisor is himself. So here's my conclusion. Like every one of the families of the 2 million men and women who serve in our military, whether active duty, guard, or reserve, I want a president and commander-in-chief who knows the world, knows its leaders, knows the strength of our military, knows how to conduct diplomacy, and knows how to make a decision to keep America safe. I trust Hillary Clinton to make these decisions with full knowledge that the life of my son and his friends may be riding on the outcome. And the prospect of the emotionally volatile, fact-challenged, self-obsessed, and inexperienced Donald Trump as commander-in-chief scares me to death. If you want to read more about our plans in this area, the important role of national security, there's a new book that's out today. It's called Stronger Together, which lays out the Clinton-Kaine vision for American foreign policy in significant detail. We are stronger together. We are stronger together. You know this in Wilmington. The military knows it better than anybody. I've often said about my son that if you had told me he was going to change as a result of his military service and asked me to predict what the change would be, I would have gotten it wrong. I would have gotten it wrong. I don't know exactly what I would have said. But it turns out that the change has been going from free agent to team player. That's what the military, that's what the Marines has taught us, has taught him. And it's proof of that proposition. We're stronger together. Donald Trump doesn't understand that. And at this point in his life, we'd be unrealistic to think that he will. And that's why I'm so proud to be on this ticket with Hillary Clinton. She'll be a commander-in-chief with a cool head, a steady hand, an open mind. I trust Hillary to put together an A-plus team, to ask tough questions and make the right decisions under pressure. I trust Hillary to lead with the consistent principles that have always been our nation's trademark. I trust Hillary with the lives of our men and women in uniform. And with Hillary Clinton in the White House, the rest of the world will never forget why they've always looked up to the United States of America. Thank you so much for coming today. And thank you so much for all you do for North Carolina and for this nation. Appreciate it.